One of the most difficult things to learn in life is that not everybody will care. Not everybody will get your hurt, your path, or your aspirations. And that's not something to be resentful of, it's something to know. We live a life where we're looking for something all the time. Social media likes, acceptance from family members, compliments from friends. We judge our worth based on how other people think. But here's the catch: the instant you stop trying to get validation from everyone else, you start living in freedom, truth, and power. Muniba Mazari is fond of saying, people will always have opinions about you. Some will cheer for you, and some will criticize you, but none of it defines who you truly are. She learned this the hard way from suffering. Since her accident, there have been individuals who vanished, people who didn't get what she was experiencing. And for a bit, that stung. But then she came to know that her recovery could not be based on others being present or their approval. It had to originate from within herself. That understanding transformed her life forever. The reality is nobody can ever feel what you feel. Nobody can battle your fights for you. Others will sympathize. Others will even do things for you for a while. But ultimately, it is you who must stand up, look in the mirror, and make the choice to continue. If you cease waiting for others to recognize your value, you cease living as a victim. You reclaim your power. You cease asking, do they see me? And begin declaring, I see myself. I know who I am. Chasing validation is like pursuing a moving target. It's never satisfied. Even when others applaud you, it passes because you're living on something external. Real confidence, real peace, come when you're aware of your worth, even when no one appreciates it. When you act right, when you pursue what you love, when you develop in quiet persistence, without having to prove yourself, you begin to build something substantial. You begin living for yourself, not for applause. Muniba's account is a perfect manifestation of this. She didn't wait for the world to get her. She used her pain to motivate others. She didn't look about to see who loved her. She loved herself. That's surviving versus thriving. You don't wait on someone to pick you up. You lift yourself up by believing you are worthy of being lifted. And yes, it's not simple. There will be evenings that you'll feel unseen, mornings when nobody bothers to check on you, seconds when your silence is not noticed. But keep in mind this: the world's silence does not equal your worthlessness. Occasionally, life puts you far apart so that at last you will listen to your own voice. The loneliness that pains you today could be the distance that develops your strength tomorrow. When you break free from the need for people to make you feel worthy, you are unstoppable. You cease shrinking to be accepted, and you begin rising tall for what you stand for. You cease second guessing whether other people will accept your decisions, and you begin to make those decisions that respect your peace. You cease explaining your path to individuals who were never supposed to comprehend it. That's when confidence is really true, not when others believe in you, but when you believe in yourself even when others don't. And here's the stunning part: when you stop begging for validation, the right people will begin to notice you. Not because you pleaded with them for attention, but because your authenticity will ring louder than any performance ever will. People are attracted to people who know who they are. You don't have to yell about your worth. Your energy will yell it for you. So, if you ever get the sense that nobody cares, remind yourself, perhaps they don't have to. Perhaps this is your moment to care for yourself, to build yourself, to love yourself so fiercely that you no longer need someone to remind you that you're enough. When you cease to chase validation, you cease to live small. You begin to walk with quiet power, the kind that doesn't have to be seen to exist. Muniba's life imparts that it's not the claps that make anyone great. It's the heart to keep on shining even when nobody is looking. So, stop waiting for someone to notice your value. You are enough just the way you are. You have always been. And when you finally get to see that, You'll never again ask who cares about you, and instead realize that you've always possessed the strength to care for yourself all along. When life's hard and you feel like no one cares, it's easy to start thinking that you're by yourself, that perhaps you're not strong enough, not good enough, or not worthy enough of love and support. But the reality is, we will all come to a time in our lives when the only one we can really count on is ourselves. That's not weakness, it's the start of strength. When you become your own support system, when you choose to stand tall, even when nobody stands with you, that's when you really start to rise. Muniba Mazari's life is a beautiful reflection of this truth. After her accident, she was told she would never walk again. Many people disappeared from her life. Some didn't know how to deal with her pain, and others simply moved on. She could have fallen apart completely, but instead, she found something powerful within her, the ability to be her own support system. She made up her mind that even when no one else believed in her, she would believe in herself. Even when no one appeared for her, she would appear for herself every day. That choice didn't revolutionize her life, it gave it purpose. When you finish waiting for folks to come and save you and begin to figure out how to stand by yourself, you release an inner strength that cannot be intimidated. It is so simple to be motivated when people support you. But true strength lies in those times when the world is quiet, and yet you persist. You are your own motivator, your own encourager, your own compass. You come to understand that the person you've been looking for, the person who will never abandon you, never question you, never give up on you, has been you all along. Being your own support system takes on the responsibility of healing and growth for yourself. It involves not blaming others for not doing something, but taking action on what you can do. It's getting up and saying, I will not let my pain control me. I will not let my loneliness destroy me. I will construct myself bit by bit. If you depend too much on others, however, you also give them the power to make you happy or unhappy. But if your strength lies within, no one can ever steal it away. Sure, there will be days when you feel like it is impossible. Days when you just wish someone would just get it, to just say, I'm here. And it's all right to want that. It's normal. But don't let the lack of others make you quit. Instead, let it be a reason for you to climb even higher. Let yourself think back about how you've gotten through every terrible day up until now. That means there's something indestructible inside you. That indestructible thing. That's your inner cheering squad, your inner fighter. Muniba frequently states, you don't need a hero to save you. You just need to understand that you are your own hero. When you learn that, you begin to think differently. You cease to yearn for approval and begin to generate value. You cease to wait around to be motivated and begin to be your own motivation. You cease to depend on encouragement and begin to be motivated by your own advancement. You understand that your journey, your hurt, and your strength are your best teachers. Remember the times you got back up when you fell and no one even saw. Remember the nights that you cried yourself to sleep, but still woke up the next morning. Remember all those times that you believed you couldn't do it, but somehow managed to. That's you being your own support system. That's strength, not weakness. Those are the things that mold your character more than any cheers or accolades ever could. So, do not wait for someone to tell you that you're doing well. Tell yourself. Do not wait for someone to grant you permission to pursue your dreams. Grant yourself permission. Do not wait for someone to believe in you. Believe in yourself so hard that doubt cannot find room. The fact is, people will come and go. Some will stick with you for a chapter, some for a sentence. But you are the one who stays in each page of your book. Be there for yourself the way you wish others had been there for you. Speak gently to yourself. Believe in your own voice, and remind yourself every day that you can survive and thrive. Because once you stand alone, you'll see that you were never really alone. You always had the strength, the power, and the courage in you. That's what having your own support system really means. It's the strength of knowing that even when the world turns its back on you, you will never turn yours on yourself. Pain transforms people. It can make you bitter, or it can make you fearless. It can shut your heart, or it can open your eyes. Life will never be painless, disappointing, or rejected, but what makes you is the way you react to it. The fact is, no one is immune to struggle, but the ones who make it are those that decide to use their pain to their advantage. That's what Muniba Mazari has done so beautifully. She has taken her pain and turned it into strength, wounds into wisdom, and her life into a beacon of light for everyone else. There is a moment in every person's life when you are tested, when life knocks on you so hard that you don't even recognize yourself anymore. People who trusted you may walk away, opportunities may disappear, dreams may fall apart. At that moment, it's tempting to give in to despair and mutter, "Why me?" But Muniba instructs us to pose an alternative question. What is this trying to teach me? That change of attitude makes all the difference. When you cease viewing pain as punishment and begin viewing it as a teacher, you start to grow in ways you never anticipated. Pain isn't your enemy, it's your best teacher. Each scar you have is evidence that you lived through something that at one point attempted to destroy you. Each of the rejections you endured brought you closer to the true purpose of your life. When you look at Muniba's life, you notice someone who had all the reasons to give up. Following her accident, she lost the capacity to walk, she endured numerous surgeries, and her aspirations appeared to be broken. But rather than allowing that hurt to define her, she took it and made it her why. She began to paint again, telling the world again and reminding others that broken does not equal worthless. It equals rebuilt, refined, and stronger than when it was first made. When no one cares, when no one believes, that's when you must choose what kind of person you will become. Will you allow that hurt to make you small? Or will you allow it to mold you into something strong? Transmuting pain into power is applying your pain as a strength, not as an anchor that drags you down. It's about saying, yes, I've been damaged, but I'm still standing. I'm still striving. I'm still emerging. Pain provides you with compassion. It makes your heart tender while making your soul acuter. When you have weathered the storms, you learn to empathize better with other people. You understand what it takes to shatter, and therefore become kinder, wiser, and more empathetic. Muniba frequently professes that her wheelchair does not define her. It makes her refined. That's what hurt does. It peels away everything that is extraneous and leaves you with what's essential. It teaches you to find the pieces of yourself you never knew you had. The courage, the strength, the flame to keep moving. There's a saying that says, "You were given this mountain to move, to demonstrate to others it is possible." Every challenge that's standing between you and your goal is not trying to hold you back. It's there to make you stronger. Pain turns to power when you cease resisting it and begin to learn from it. It's not about faking being fine. It's about seeing your pain, confronting it head on, and still choosing to get up. You can cry, you can stumble, you can fall, but as long as you keep getting back up, your pain is doing its work. It's molding you into a person who can't be broken. Every now and then, the most lovely things come out of the darkest ground. Your pain today could be the reason that someone else finds hope tomorrow. When you speak your truth, when you become wisdom out of wounds, you remind others that they can too survive. That's how you turn pain into power, not by healing yourself, but by helping others heal as well. Muniba Mazari once declared, "They broke my body, but not my spirit." That one sentence encapsulates what it is to overcome pain. Life will shatter you in 100 ways, but it will provide you with the means by which to mend yourself stronger. Each heartbreak, each breakdown, each solitary night It contributes to the strength you will eventually use to fulfill your purpose. So don't flee from your pain. Don't numb it. Don't hide it. Feel it, face it, and then use it. Let it compel you, not immobilize you. Let it instruct you to believe in yourself, to love the scars on your body, and to build something purposeful from what attempted to destroy you. Because one day, when you turn around, you'll see that your hurt wasn't the end. It was the start of your power. When you finally let go of seeking approval, life becomes lighter, freer, and a whole lot more at peace. Most of us spend so much time seeking to please others, to fit within their expectations, to be accepted and liked, that we forget to ask ourselves the most crucial question: am I growing? Am I becoming the person that I really want to be? Seeking approval is a trap that keeps you in miniature form. But caring for your growth, for your own evolution and purpose, is what really sets you free. Muniba Mazari herself very commonly says, "You don't need anyone's approval to be who you are. You are enough just the way you are." Those are the words from someone who has experienced judgment, misunderstanding, and underestimation firsthand. After her accident, others spoke to her about all the things she could no longer do. They attempted to place her into a box that read, "disabled." But she would not allow their opinions to determine her reality. Rather than attempting to convince them wrong, she set out to convince herself right. She dedicated herself to getting stronger mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. That's what occurs when you cease seeking approval. You begin seeking growth. When you live for approval, you sacrifice your power. Every compliment lifts you. Every criticism annihilates you. Your mood, your confidence, your direction, all of it is now based on other individuals' opinions. But when you prioritize growth, you begin to feel satisfied with progress, not applause. You learn that becoming the best version of yourself isn't about impressing other people. It's about respecting your potential. It's about being the kind of person who wakes up each morning and says, "I'm better than I was yesterday," and that's all that matters. The fact is, no matter what you do, someone is going to have something to say about it. If you make it, they'll say you did it because you were lucky. If you mess up, they'll say you weren't good enough. You can't control what other people think, but you can control what you pay attention to. And when you pay attention to growth, criticism becomes feedback, failure becomes a lesson, and praise becomes optional. You stop performing for the world and start growing for yourself. Muniba's life is an example of how growth occurs in silence, not in applause. Everyone considered her broken, yet she considered herself reborn. She didn't wait for approval from people. She moved forward. She learned, adjusted, and developed. And through that development, she inspired millions. That's the irony. Once you stop living for applause and start living for purpose, eventually the world notices anyway. Courage is needed to grow. It is about being ready to move out of your comfort zone, to fail, to make mistakes, and to try again. It is about being comfortable with not having everyone's approval, because you know that not everyone is going to be on your journey. It is about trusting yourself enough to continue moving forward even when no one gives you an applause. Growth is uncomfortable. It requires patience, discipline, and humility. But it's the sort of discomfort that changes you from the inside out. When you prioritize growth over acceptance, you discontinue comparing your path with others. You realize that success isn't about how quickly you get there, but how far you have reached from where you began. You start valuing your little victories, your daily achievements, your quiet strength. And most importantly, you learn to respect yourself, not because others respect you, but because you understand how much you've struggled to be who you are today. They like me today, but tomorrow they might not like me anymore. But the strength, wisdom, and skills that you acquire today will remain with you until the end of time. So, don't ask yourself, do they like me? But ask yourself, am I getting better? Don't say, Will they accept me? But say, do I accept myself? The instant you turn your attention inwards, your confidence starts growing organically. Not because people tell you that you are enough, but because you finally believe it yourself. Muniba's story teaches us that growth is the most gorgeous rebellion. It is the act of choosing to grow when people want you to throw in the towel. It is getting up quietly when nobody has faith in you. It is living as you, even if that means standing alone. So stop waiting for claps. Stop waiting for approval. Keep growing. Keep learning. Keep becoming. Because when you prioritize growth over approval, you don't just transform your life, you lift your entire existence. There comes a time in life when you realize that words don't matter anymore. Only outcomes do. You can spend years attempting to describe your dreams to others, attempting to make them realize your vision, attempting to make them believe in you. But the reality is, not everyone will get it, and no one needs to. The greatest thing you can ever do is to build a life that speaks for itself. Let your actions, your consistency, and your progress be louder than your explanations. When you remain dedicated to your mission, the same individuals who doubted you in the beginning will ultimately look up to you. Not because you persuaded them, but because your outcomes did. Muniba Mazari personifies this reality in all she does. Following her accident, numerous individuals informed her of what she couldn't accomplish. They noticed her wheelchair and concluded that life was over for her. But she never spent time vindicating them in words. She vindicated them with actions. She started painting, she started speaking. She created a life that was so inspiring that the same world that used to pity her began to celebrate her. That is the power of quiet determination. When your life is your message, you no longer have to justify yourself to anyone. Building a life that talks for you isn't about being boisterous or flashy. It's about remaining focused, steady, and true. It's about investing your energy in creating, not explaining. We spend too much time trying to make people get our vision or defend our decisions. We want others to believe in the path we're on before they can observe the destination. But actual success occurs when you desist from explaining and begin doing. Each hour you use defending your dreams, you could spend building them. Each time you quarrel with a skeptic, you retard your own development. When you begin working quietly, something magic occurs. Your progress is your proof. You don't have to proclaim each step, each goal, or each triumph. The ones who care deeply will see, and the ones who don't were never intended to see anyway. As Muniba states, don't waste your energy trying to change people's perceptions. Use that energy to change your reality. That's exactly what she did. She did not struggle to alter how people viewed her. She altered what they viewed by becoming unstoppable. Creating a life that speaks for itself also involves being patient. Success is not instantaneous, and change takes time. There will be times when no one is aware of your work, when no one celebrates your strides. Those are the times that try your faith. But if you remain consistent, if you continue moving even when no one's paying attention, your work will also speak volumes. The world always sees those who remain devoted to their purpose. And the most wonderful part of all is that when your life begins to speak, it motivates others. People might not hear what you said, but they will hear how you lived. They will see your bravery, your strength, your quiet courage. They will see how you just kept coming back, even when everyone doubted you. Your tale will then be a reflection to others, telling them they too can come up without approval, that they too can create a life of purpose even when no one is looking. Muniba frequently comments that your success should never be proving others wrong. It should be proving yourself right. When you shift your attention from impressing others to realizing your own potential, the entire game changes. You cease competing and begin building. You cease reacting and begin elevating. You understand that success isn't about putting on a show, it's about showing up. each and every day. So let your life be your loudest statement. Don't talk about what you're going to do, just do it. Don't chase approval, chase excellence. Don't tell people you're strong, show them through your actions. Be so consistent, so dedicated, and so true to yourself that your presence becomes undeniable. Because in the end, nobody remembers who talked the most. They remember who did the most. They recall the individuals who persevered, who converted their agony into purpose, who remained unassuming in the process of creating greatness. That is what Muniba Mazari is teaching us, not to validate ourselves with words, but with the lives we create. Undefined, so stop rationalizing your dreams. Undefined, live them. Undefined, stop justifying your vision. Undefined, realize it. Let your accomplishment whisper so loud that the world won't have the choice to disregard it. Let your life be the response to each negation, every inquiry, and every critique,